Oh my God, where am I?
You were
What?
you were channeling Bigfoot.
Channeling.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Oh, like like a television channel?
Something like that. Uh,
Oh,
well, something you can't see exactly. It's like a television channel, but
what
you don't see.
happened? What happened to my apartment? There's big dents in the wall. There's giant piles of feces everywhere. Donald Trump
Yeah,
posters and how 6, 7, 8, 9 "Make America Great" hats.
you have Trump hats in your apartment.
What the fuck is going on?
Do they even fit in that apartment?
I need an explanation.
Do
What's
those do
this?
those do those Trump trucker hats even like fit through the doorway in a in that apartment?
But not the ones designed for Mohicans.
No.
What is this hole doing in my ceiling? This is a horrible surprise.
It's not what you like to come home to.
Well, I was just taking a little nap. I had a long day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
what a bizarre circumstance.
indeed.
What's going on with you in Upper Mudsville?
Well, it's another rainy day,
Hey,
and
congratulations.
well, yeah, I'm having my wood floors polished right now. They're buffing them right as we speak. They
Does does the humidity affect the buffing process?
I mean, it's not very humid inside. I've had the AC on for the last couple of days. You know, we got central air, so it
Oh,
it's not very humid inside. Outside, it's humid.
living like a
No,
king.
no effect. Yeah, well, you know, I've been hiding in the basement the last few days. And you know, like I said, the floors I can't really walk on them during this process.
Oh,
I've been in my little bat cave for the last couple of days, and you know, in and out, going in and out of the house with the fucking dogs. It's been a real picnic. So
have you you've been going down to the river with Vivian Book, yeah?
uh, uh, Rusty doesn't always make the trip. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, he's pretty old for
Slowing down.
yeah, for the extra large breed dogs. You know, their life expectancy is relatively short compared to most dogs. But yeah, he's kind of up there. So like bringing him down there is like pushing it. You know, like we do that with him like once a week, and Vivi can do it every day, several times a day.
She's still a puppy.
Yeah, I mean going there and back doesn't phase her at all. You know, it's like a mile and a half total, but it's like nothing for her.
Well, the mumbles, McFlurry breath, McUndertone, uh, inner workings must get stirred up when you're taking a waddle a waddle down the river.
Yeah, I always feel energized. Uh,
Yeah, something about that ionized water.
yeah, and you know that energy is being conducted through the rocks into the soles of my feet. Granted, if you know I don't have shoes on, but you know when you have the rubber soles on your feet, it doesn't mean that you're completely isolated. You
No,
know, uh,
I was thinking about that just today, walking around and trying to find some excuse for my lethargy and poor general attitude towards humanity.
Yeah.
And want to blame the city and all the insidious behavior and retardation that I encounter minute to minute. And I realized I thought, I need nature. I need to be closer to nature. And I thought, well, wait a minute. What could be closer to nature than just being alive? So just pull from that. And my attitude changed for a good 2 minutes. but I could keep dipping myself into those deep still waters from time to time when I realized I was getting pissed off over something that didn't matter, and just being alive in general seems to be kind of a instant connection to the source. And although it's much easier when you're immersed in nature, you can walk past the river.
Yeah.
But whether your shoes on or shoes off, as long as whatever it is that's animating us, the chi flowing through us or whatever. Yeah. I just call it God because nobody likes that word, and it just is the shortest route to confusing matters. But for me,
I don't like using that word.
I don't either. Can we come up with another word? If I say chi or prana, then that has another connotations.
What do you saying for the subtle energy? You want a different name for that?
Well, there's a distinction in my mind between the material world, this physical world, not the natural parts of it, but the stuff that has been created by man's need to build. I don't know.
Yeah. You cut out. You cut out again. Are you there? Hello? 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 Are you there? Hello? I guess Retardica's having lots of router issues.
Actually, fucking A.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I'm here.
He's gone. No, he's back. No, he's gone. I've been trying to upload a fucking video to YouTube. This is going to be like my fourth fucking attempt right now. And like 4 times, it's 3 times so far it's failed.
Internet.
I don't know why it's failing. There's no content in there that's not 100%, it's not original.
Internet.
But I didn't, it shouldn't be copyright stricken. So I don't know what's going on with this video. It's going to be titled A Paint Steak. No, what did I call it? A Paint Snake. Yeah. A Paint Snake. 666. Because a paint snake, I keep saying steak, I don't know why, but a paint snake, that phrase is 666 in the English Sumerian Gematria cipher, which I'm sure everybody here knows what that is. Even Bigfoot. Are you back with us, Bigfoot? Or is Retardica back? Nobody's back. Son of a bitch. Alright, so did the Mohawks wear Mohawks? I don't think so. Benjamin Franklin did not found the Saturday Evening Post either. That was a common misperception. Is Retardica back yet? I think he's just messing with me to see what I do. Are you just messing around to see if I could carry the ball, if I could run with this ball? Hmm. Who killed Lizzie Borden's parents? Who coined the phrase, "Honey, I forgot to duck"? What nationality was Cleopatra?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. What color is a Florida orange? Uh, hmm.
Well,
Lots of resources here at my disposal.
what are you picking through there, champ?
What does thumbs down mean? Huh.
Thumbs.
Thumbs down. What does thumbs down mean?
I'm looking at one right now.
Let's see if there's an index in this here book.
Now, wait a minute.
This is an older book, so you probably have never seen it. But here it starts out with a quote, a very quotable quote by Sir Francis Bacon, minus the Sir. I don't think he was Sir at this point in time. This book is from 1982, so I don't think he was a Sir yet. But the quote is, "What is truth?" And then another quote.
No, wait a minute.
Another quotable quote from Lewis Carroll. What I tell you 3 times is true. Lewis Carroll said that.
What did I just step into here?
You stepped into a big heaping turd of dog shit.
I know, this is one of the more confusing episodes. You know,
Yeah.
It's really, really gone to my head, all these celebrity endorsements. And maybe, you know, not used to this kind of exposure.
Well, it's a lot of pressure.
Well, I'm feeling it. You would think a pressure would create more wind.
Yeah.
But it's really just creating more appetite for luxury goods.
Oh, you know what I had? I had something. I was watching a show. Shit, what was it on? Netflix, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my strange addiction or something.
Oh.
You heard of this?
Oh, see, that's those ghouly thumbnails that YouTube is always trying to get me to click for the past year. And my strange addiction is like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It was on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this was Netflix.
Well, it must have been they must have some...
it's probably the same shit.
Same advertising relationship or something.
Yeah, probably.
Was it a woman who put things in her ass or drank her own blood?
Well, first episode.
Oh boy.
That's I think I only could watch one episode. It was like they do like a couple different stories at once and they flip back and forth,
Yeah.
But yeah, the first story was this gal was addicted to coffee enemas.
Oh, right.
She was like, she's giving herself like fucking like 4 or 6 fucking coffee enemas a day.
Right. And, well, if you're ill, that's a good way to purify your blood.
Yeah, well, she wasn't ill.
Well, maybe there's the reason why.
And then she, like they were like interviewing her husband or spouse or whatever, and asking him what he thought about it, and he's like, when she told me at first, I was shocked, but then I tried it, and now I'm addicted.
Oh, I love how they present this stuff, man.
So they're both addicted to coffee enemas, and they're doing like fucking. They make like 4 cups of coffee a day.
So, now, what if a television producer came to you and you did coffee enemas as part of your health regimen, right? Just
Well, I
whatever.
would.
And
I wouldn't.
they no, let's just say, like,
Yeah.
do you think a lot of these things, because I've known people who were in supposed reality shows, and they were surprised that it was edited and scripted so heavily, because things that they didn't even say had somehow been presented on the television, and they misrepresented themselves. And I just think it's. Do you think that this is a legitimate thing? I mean, considering we live in the world of
Oh, the
complete
show? No, the show.
illusion and fakery.
Yeah, no, the show was complete bullshit. The show
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah, it was a fake show for sure. I was.
Oh, I thought it was like
I
a
was picking up
documentary
like,
or something.
no, no, like well, like it was, documentary style.
Style, right, right, right.
It was like a series broken up into episodes and
Oh,
shit.
right, right, right. That's what you said.
So like, yeah, like I was picking it apart, a little bit at a time, just to see all the inconsistencies that, they're
Oh, right.
like exaggerating all of these things to, make a show. But
Right.
yeah, no, I just thought it was like showing them fucking laying on the bathroom floor, like fucking putting the thing up their ass with the fucking like a makeshift fucking pot that had like a fucking tube coming out of the bottom of the pot.
Yeah, see, man, that's what they've been
Wash
trying to get me to watch. They've been trying to get me to watch that for a whole year.
You're
Either that.
washing the thing out, the nozzle's all fucking coffee stained, but you can't tell if it's coffee or shit.
Oh,
It's just
oh my
funny
God.
I understand that they're trying to make it look like it's a bad thing, but anything in excess like that is going to be a bad thing. That's the first thing that I took from it. You could eat an apple. Apples are good for you, but if you eat 100 apples a day, you're going to be a fat shit, and you're not going to live. So like the same with the coffee enema. Maybe once a month would be. I don't know. Is that a lot? Speaking like, how do you? How often do you?
Depends on my situation, but not as much now that I've been doing. Depends what protocol I'm choosing and what I've learned. So now I'm doing like these liver flushes, which is it requires like a colon cleanse. So I wouldn't require coffee. Coffee is just to stimulate the liver and the gallbladder to kick out the bile. So it's not really to cleanse the colon. But if you put anything in your ass, it's going into your bloodstream quickly. So I can see you can become addicted to that.
Oh yeah.
Just like frat boys, legend has it. Will do anal beer bong.
Yeah. Fucking vodka soaked tampon. Those are always delightful. Did we lose you again? Boy, what a crappy connection. What did prohibition prohibit? Still trying to find the answer to the thumbs
The
down.
emergency room. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
there you
Fucking
are. No, there you're not. No witches were burnt to death at Salem. Huh? No witches were burnt at Salem? You mean that's a hoax too?
I'm glad that I get kicked off and then come back in media res, as they say in literature. Sounds like you're conducting another interview.
No, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, it's been a weird one for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely outside the line.
Well, You've been in your basement for the last 3 days.
If we were coloring, we would be like we would be off the coloring book and like
Oh yeah, we're in the
sorry.
carpet. We're in the carpet.
Yeah. Yep.
Mom's gonna
Speaking
be
speaking of that,
nonplussed.
yeah. Yeah, that was like you just shed some light on some very deep psychological issues that Mumbles has from his early childhood.
Oh yeah, coloring
When,
outside the lines and getting in trouble.
oh boy, I had just gotten I had just
Oh
gotten
boy.
my very first Bob Ross paint set. I don't know. I was probably like maybe 10. I don't know.
Oh
But
yeah, that,
I was upstairs just painting, all happy-go-lucky, and
yeah.
I guess I got a little out of control, and more paint was, basically it had like a square of paint on the carpet after I picked up the canvas.
That's perfect. You're
So my paint
avant-garde before there was.
my Bob Ross paint set was taken away from me immediately.
Oh man! And now
And,
look at you as you gingerly lay the canvas over your canvas before
uh,
you
yeah, I learned my lesson.
squirt paint on it. Now I could tell there was some trepidation or something.
It was like 18 years before I picked up a paintbrush again. And he's gone again. Jesus. King Arthur was not a king. That was another hoax. King Arthur was not a king. Uh, Still looking for this thumbs down fucking bullshit. Hmm. Where did golf originate? Hmm. The Encyclopedia Britannica is not British. Hmm. Oh, let's see. Let's gauge this book right now. What is the origin of the swastika? The first time I saw a swastika on a Tibetan wall hanging, I thought it was a neo-fascist forgery. Like most people, I associated the broken cross with one thing and one thing only, that defilement of decency and reason that called itself National Socialism. But the swastika, I later discovered, was not invented by Hitler. Well, yeah, I mean, at least they're telling the truth, but they're still perpetuating this defilement and undecency of the National Socialist Party.
And this is
Yeah,
a perfect tie-in to presenting information,
yeah,
misrepresenting it through just a little
yeah.
twist of words, or what you show or what you don't show.
Yep. They
You
put a
know,
little bit. They put a little bit in there that's true, and then a little bit in there to fuck you up.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's so frustrating about existing in this manufactured world, man. And it's like talking earlier about the distinction between the manufactured world and, some word other than God or nature.
yeah,
I got an uncle in Japan, and he went through some unfortunate circumstances, like too much. He pulled
yeah,
a Job, and they don't have the concept of God in the same way that a Christian nation does, but they have something called kami-sama, which is sort of the amalgamation of all principles natural. So it would be nature is included in that, but he said he just uses the word nature.
Well, like, what would that like equate to, like Brahma or something? Or
No, it doesn't get into any. It steers clear like the religious thing. I think that's why it's religion has taken the coffee enema addiction route. Where the principles embodied in a group of people sharing the same morals and values. Like we're all going
Yeah.
to agree to flush our shit down the toilet, not because we're forced to, but because it's good for me and it's good for everyone else. Because that's what I would want everyone else to do, is flush their shit away before I sit down on the pot, so I can
Yeah.
extend the courtesy to my brother and sister. That's not religion, but we don't have a word for that. That's not nature, and that's not chi or Brahma.
It's customary, or
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. That
yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
It's close. It's close.
Mannerisms, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you would call
Like something exactly, because we just don't have a conception. We have a conception of it, but we don't have a label for it. And so, in that sense, no one really behaves in that. Very few people behave in that way, and that's what'll make the Eastern philosophies so appealing to it's people growing up in this culture, if they have any. But the people who live in the Eastern cultures don't really share those principles either, I've come to find. And it's because they get dealt the same categorizations for like morals and values are put under the umbrella of religion, which seems to just misrepresent anything good. Like you take the good morals and the good values, and then you personify them, and then you publicly slaughter them, so that you can always remind people that you know I don't know. It has it's the same thing though, where it's like something that's good for you or can be useful in moderation is usurped and then rebranded, repackaged, and rebranded. It's so a deception so closely mimics honesty
Yeah.
that being innocent is seen as a weakness or something. It's just everything is like that, and I feel like there's a linchpin that if I could just wrap my mind around it, like sincerity is pretty powerful, humility is pretty powerful,
Well,
um,
I
but
don't know about that.
I
I mean,
mean,
yeah, they're powerful, but I
me,
don't.
well, subtly powerful, like these subtly powerful ideas. Like a coffee enema is subtly powerful, but if you throw it out there to a group of people and say this is what it is, then that becomes for that group of people in mass, like 95% of the population is going to see sensational headline, and then that's the furthest their research is going to go. And well, what were we talking about? Like wars. When you say, I really wanted to talk about that when you'd mentioned that in one of your videos, because Memorial Day had passed,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like, here's the fucking thing. Whenever there's a fake event or a fake war, they
yeah,
always you know, want you to never forget. But if something negative or bad happens to you,
yeah,
they want you to forget about it, get over it.
yeah, yeah.
We have to move on. But
Mm-hmm.
if the whole success of your deception campaign is rooted in a certain number of people dying in an event that happened whatever 80 years ago, even if it's rooted in the truth in some way, just hounding the same number, hitting
Well,
that memory trigger and never forgetting and having remembrance days for things that never happened
yeah,
is so powerful.
yeah.
And it's a real
Well,
dick move, man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it. You got to look at both sides of the coin. I think you're just looking at the one side. Like what's the antithesis of never forget? Would be remembering, right? So like like telling you to remember. You know, like, hey, look at this fucking tragic event, and then like they're telling you to jog your memory.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Like, you know,
Yeah, that's precisely what I'm saying.
yeah, well, you know,
There's
it's
that. It's super powerful, and it's just taken as a par for the course. Like that's just the way it is. Like you're supposed to.
bells for somebody. They're ringing the bells to wake people up. You know, like
Yeah, of course.
they get bolder and bolder every year with each new fucking thing that they try to pull off, or
Yeah,
that they do pull off. And some people are duped by it, and other people aren't duped by it. But ultimately, I think it's like you know, a calling that they're putting out there,
a calling.
and maybe yeah, like they might be doing it unknowingly, even. You know, they're
Well, some
not.
of them, yeah, some of them for sure.
A lot of them are just, you know, going through their motions and not really thinking about what they're doing. They're
Yeah,
just doing things. You know? Like Nike, just do it. Don't,
yeah, but
don't ask questions. Uh, yeah, I think
but that's the
never
system.
forget.
That's the way, right? That's what works.
Yeah, I
So
think they just make you remember things.
yeah,
You know, like
It's-
all we have is really memories. Like all of our knowledge is based off of memory.
right. And then
You
if
know?
it's something that you don't have a memory of, like I don't have a memory of the World War II events, right? So you can just kind of shame me into behaving in a certain
But you can
way.
remember them. But you don't have the memory right now, but you can remember them.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I guess this comes down to like a zetetic thing. I mean, I didn't actually experience it, but I'm having a remembrance. What do you call that when you
You're
a
reading
deference?
the
It's a deference, right?
a deference.
A, a deference is when you pay homage to something that you didn't actually experience, but you honor it
No, that's like
respectfully.
that's just Memorial Day. That's just like
Well,
cele-
exactly. That's what
that's
I'm
just
saying.
celebrating like the fucking that's just the date and calendar worship. But
Yeah,
if you actually remember, like like you're like you're actually a dismembered fucking body, like
right, right.
like how what was it? Osiris was fucking broken into 64 parts and scattered throughout the desert, and Thoth had to fucking come and put all the pieces back together to remember.
They never found the wee wee.
Well, they well they only put back 63 64ths of him,
Yeah,
and Thoth was supposed to act as the 64th, which
yeah,
gets to 64 in our 8x8 magic cube, or the
yeah.
64 grams that we talked about or mentioned.
The I Ching. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
we're
I think they're really just like trying to ring the bells to wake people up, and if if you don't fucking get it, shame on you, really.
I mean, fool me once, I won't get fooled again.
Yeah,
But
like
are you
the
saying the bells are being ringed as a deliberate effort to, uh, I hate this expression, wake people up, to make people aware? Or what are we talking about?
yeah, I think I think they're trying to wake people up, and the
Oh,
it's for
well, who's they?
everything I
Who's
gather.
they? Who's they? Because the ones that I can see don't see. I mean, 90% of them don't
All
realize
right.
they're perpetuating something.
So we'll just call these invisible entities. Okay, the same source that gives us our all of our animating properties is the
Hmm.
same is the same force that's you know, directing our actions more or less. You know, yeah, you have a lot of environmental factors to consider as well, but we're you know, like in science, you could basically they could see like the signal for your arm to move before you tell your arm to move, basically. Like I don't know how to word it scientifically to make me sound smart,
Mm-hmm.
but before your brain is telling your body what to do, there was already a signal there telling your brain to tell your leg to move. You know, so we're all tied to this. You know, we call it the Akashic field. Even, you know, that's where all the information is.
Oh,
And
okay. So you're talking about memory in that sense.
yeah, you could tap into all of those and see anything. I think like General MacArthur said he had like 2,000 years of battlefield experience or some shit, right? Because he
Okay.
could like channel Napoleon, he channeled all these fucking great generals, and he remembered all of their strategy, and he like basically channeled them. And same
Okay.
thing. I think what Barbara Bush was channeling some.
Is this something that you're what's the word? Not agree. Is this how you believe that this system is functioning?
Well, this is what I'm getting at is these invisible entities that are basically uh, you know, the broadcast telling certain channels to do certain things. You know, I'm maybe your birth sign, you know, like the astrology might have something to do with it as far as uh, you know, your sign might determine what signal you're going to receive and you know what functions you're going to carry out. But you know, like they just put these subtle little ideas and shape culture in the way that they want it to proceed. And
Oh,
so these invisible entities are telling the higher ups, you know, the playbook, or giving them plays, and they're carrying it out, and they don't really know why. They think they're doing good. Um, you know, it might come off as like they're doing something demonic, but in the end, I do think that it's all meant for the greater good. You know, everything that I've ever like when I fucking dig deep and get into the shit, everything tells tells it that it's basically for your benefit. You know, they're gonna
what?
beat you. They're gonna beat you over the fucking head until you wake up for your benefit. For your, you know, it's for your benefit.
Right, right. I mean, in a, I mean, we're arriving at the same conclusion through similar means. It's just again the words to define these things. Like if you take the they and you just squeeze it down into one, not entity, but one. Well, for example, like Gustav Le Bon is known for the crowd psychology, right? But this is just whether he was a real person or not, that whatever this research is, makes some interesting points. You can define a greater consciousness. His case was the more people you put together past a certain point, the more stupid they become as a whole. And I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't take a genius to kind of figure that out. But but what I could say instead of building, not saying you're doing this, but commonly what happens is you'll get these characters that embody these general ideas, and they will solidify them in history. We'll say groups of people are the bigger groups of people get, the dumber they are. And so The next jump is this is how to treat these groups of people if they behave in this way. You need to use violence and force to sway the thing, or you need to use cunning and do this. But the whole premise is based on this one idea. If there is a they on the human form, they're rooted in the history of eugenics and manipulation through
Well, I think
through you know
uh,
food, manipulation of the natural principles to elicit sort of um, self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense. So on both ends of the spectrum, anyone's right at any given moment. So if
yeah,
if there is a natural principle, an invisible natural principle that uh, there seems to be, it has to, as you said, be for the greater good, because there has to be a harmony. There has to be an unspoken sense of justice in everything. If I kick a wall with my bare foot and I hurt my toe, this is based on a true story,
yeah,
because I was angry. Well, I had shoes on, but it was waiting for an elevator that never came, and there was construction going on, and I reached the tipping point, and I was behind in time, and all these things put pressure on me, and my reaction was to kick a cinder block wall that I thought was a wood wall. So
yeah,
I expected a certain amount of give. Point is, unbeknownst to myself, I jammed my foot in some weird way that subtly affected the way that I walked, fucked up my posture, and only years later did it kind of dawn on me. It's like, oh, I wonder if this could be related to that. Told the acupuncturist, and he was able to do like some mechanical shit on my foot. But my motor memory and everything was all unwired in this weird way. Even my double vision was all, man, it's just a mess. So, and the point was there was a balance, and because I'd become so out of balance that my emotions triggered a physical reaction, and whatever participation I had in the process, I physically injured my instrument to not punish, because that's a religious word, to punish, but to slow me down because I was going too fast. And it
yeah,
did, and it slowed me down for 12 years. It's
yeah.
only now I have to put a coffee in my asshole 20 times a day to experience any sort of relief. But the point being, like I've heard, if you're in a car crash, you were supposed to be in that car crash, you can only blame yourself for this sort of thing. These ideas can be useful because there's an accountability involved, but generally these ideas are created, then exploited by people and systems. So there's people that are in the know, obviously, because you have to have this remembrance thing. This memorial days and the calendars will perpetuate themselves because it's on this. That's the nature of time. It's just perpetuating itself. The mathematical time. Uh,
Right.
but the underlings. I mean, I don't want to say we, but the general population, the masses, are just tick-tocking along. They're going with this. They're going with whatever the calendar is saying. That's the edge of the terrain. Um, you, and that is based on natural principles as well. Like people do behave in a certain way in groups, and they do get dumber in mass, so to speak. But
But we lost you again. We lost Retardica again. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Well, I mean, getting to back to discussion at hand. These invisible entities are not communicating verbally or with words. It's It's more of a frequency or a vibration. So it's not like you're hearing voices in your head. It's just that you're being, I don't know. You're just being attuned. They're just tuning you to do your job. And your job is to serve the planet, the planned net in which we are all trapped. And that's basically Mother Nature. Talking about nature, this is our captor. And are you back?
Am I welcome here?
Yeah,
Some
you're back.
invisible entity keeps kicking me out.
Oh, did you hear anything I said?
No, I'm
Oh,
gonna have to listen to this godforsaken
shit.
show.
I don't even know if I could remember what I said.
Well, it was
I was
recorded.
saying,
Craig recorded it.
yeah, I was saying that those invisible entities are not communicating verbally or
No,
communicating with words. It's all vibratorial energies that are very subtly picked up on, and like they're not voices in your head. They don't like turn into voices in your head. It's just
sure.
attuning the instrument to a certain resonance to do a job. And um, I kind of ultimately threw it back on Mother Nature being our captor that we are all here to serve unknowingly. And any which way you do that, um, it is for the greater good of the earth to have you die here and become fertilizer for the fucking plants.
Yeah.
Those plants are going to feed the animal kingdom. And that's what nature is. So we're just food. We're just food for this machine. And we should strive to be food. We should be the best possible food we could be.
Sounds
And
pretty Jewy to me. Hate to say it, but it sounds like you come full circle to
where are you going to go?
you know,
There's no escaping this.
you're mules. You'll always be mules. That's what you were bred to be, as mules. You do the work, and then
Yeah.
when you're done, you become something else that's useful, like
Yeah.
glue or sealant or
And
dog
that gets
dog
back
food.
that goes back to something I written down a long time ago, and I didn't really dwell on it a lot when I wrote it or copied it down from wherever.
Hmm.
But it was something to the effect of, we are here for the sake of it. It is not here for the sake of us. And I think we're talking about Mother Nature, and we are here to serve it. And it is not here for us. We are here for it. And
Well, just
while we might think that we're receiving some sort of benefit in the interim while we're enjoying our stay here, all of these things are really just putting us in the grave sooner, which is kind of I don't know. Maybe this is the bad lung, and we need to get to the good lung.
well, I think it's just like you described before with I think you coined the term double funnel.
Yeah,
It's no beginning and no end. There's always going to be a feedback from the larger to the smaller, and vice versa. So the end of, if we set the parameters as an individual person, and then whatever population happens to be, maybe the population is just like the Earth itself. Maybe it's just there's no way to calculate it. It's just a system in action. Well, okay. So the point being, there's always going to be a feedback on on every level of that system. There's always going to be a double funnel feeding back in a toroidal way where something is coming in and something else is coming out, and they're all going to be informing all levels of the strata. So, if you define it as, Mother Nature, that would embody the, largest concept of a group of everything. And then this, you see what I'm saying? There's the collective mind is a concept that will feed into an individual's life. Obviously, like my life is affected by the idea of the collective behavior. I can remove myself from it to a certain degree, but
Yes.
it has a great effect on my environment. So where I am presently, I'm just most comfortably not engaging outside as much. And that could be because of so many different things. Because I keep kicking walls, and I'm getting older, and I'm slowing down, and that's part of that system. But it's kind of up to me what my take is on it. Oh, you know what this fucking world did to me? It's so fucking frustrating. That's why I kicked the wall. I could look at it just the same as, I learned a lesson by kicking that wall. I've learned a lot about my body. Just like if you're fortunate enough at a younger age to be in love with a lady, and you just think she's the most beautiful, sweet smelling, feminine creature on earth. And, next thing you know, you're out, have a couple beers with the boys go home, you're hanging out at the bar by yourself. You're getting the old tug job in the back of your car with someone who smelled just a little bit sweeter at that moment. And then you break up, and then you're like, oh, she's a bitch for not understanding me, and then she's ugly. I can't believe I ever dated that bitch. It's you're constantly ebbing and flowing with feedback from your environment. And then, so if going back to the idea of people behaved in a certain way with a little bit, in certain environments that aren't so jam-packed full of people, there's a little bit more fresh air to breathe. Nature is designed into the layout of the city and stuff like that. People are a little bit more chilled out. So then individual relationships are a little bit more chilled out. And then I guess the great Mother Nature being the captor. Well, Mother Nature is the captor and also the provider. That's why she's the mother. So that's the double funnel. So she basically has a two-way vagina.
She'll give you life, and she'll take it away.
Yeah, I brought you into this world. I'll give you a bunch of Jews to torture you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah. But now, is it, getting back to the double funnel concept, and Mother Nature and life and death, we have no real way of knowing if death is actually a birth process that's being made. So
absolutely. Death is this thing used to scare us into certain behaviors, and we're so far along the assembly line. If there is an Akashic memory of what the process of death is, we're just so far down the memory hole. We're just scrambling around. And the best we can do is kind of grasp on to those who have been deemed the authorities on the matter which winds up leading us to hospitals and putting our trust and stuff into people in white lab coats, which I think was only invented about 100 years ago as some sort of PR move to create an identity that was authoritative and trustworthy. The white lab coat was invented. And I lost my train of thought, but
Schickelgruber.
What I really wanted to say is I really enjoy your guys' show. It's a wonderful, I'm glad you're talking about the medical system because I actually went and I talked to my trusted physician. And I said, how are things, doc? And he said, oh, not so good. I said, you're kidding me, right? He said, yeah, I'm kidding. And I said, well, what is this thing I was worried about? Do I go to do a biopsy? And he said, don't worry. I said, I'm a little worried. He said, no, don't worry. He's not a tumor. I said, well, what the fuck it look like? It looked like a tumor. Yeah.
Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
For those who haven't checked out the YouTube first one off YouTube, No More Computers channel.
Nobody
YouTube.
knows my daddy's real name. It's Eros Schickelgruber. They changed it to Hitler at Ellis Island.
Our latest endorsement comes.
I didn't know that the Hitlers went through Ellis Island.
No, they went everywhere. That's why.
I'm just originally the last name was Schickelgruber, and it was changed. It was changed in 1877 to Hitler.
Yeah.
And they did that at Ellis Island when they came to New York.
They could just, as long as you just define a port of entry, that's where everything can be changed.
Yeah.
It's just like find the whole.
The port of entry, right? And getting back to
birth,
all of the lies that we've come to know as true.
Yeah.
Like Ellis Islands, for instance. That's what the Statue of Liberty, right? Isn't the Statue of Liberty on that island?
Yeah, well, she's on a little platform near the island, yeah. She's on a starport. She's on a starport right next to the island.
Like, can you look real quick, like on your computer? How can you get to the Statue of Liberty?
You take a ferry.
Yeah, from where?
Oh, let's see. Statue from the Battery Park, right? So you got to go from the Battery. Statue of Liberty.
That's the only ferry line that goes to the island.
Well, for the populace, yeah. Statue of Liberty from Ellis Island. Let's see. To Ellis Island?
No, I'm saying, like, how do you get to the Statue of Liberty from anywhere?
How do you get to the Statue of Liberty?
Like, you got to go through New York, no? Or is there a ferry from the Jersey side?
Oh, you know? I can't research that fast. They're definitely no. You have to go to the Battery, and then you have to go through that port. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like if you're gonna.
Statue of Liberty itself is in New Jersey waters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so we're talking about the Port Authority.
Well, Yeah, I mean
because
now it's
New
more
Jersey and
far.
New York share the authority of the
Yeah,
port.
they share the port. They share the
Yeah,
port.
yeah.
But
So that's a New Jersey New York double funnel vagina.
yeah, yeah. And
That's interesting.
I always thought it was in New York.
Whoa, so is okay, so what where are we going? I think I
In New Jersey. It's
um,
in New Jersey.
well,
This
I'm
is a big
wondering.
lie. This is a terrible, terrible lie.
Okay.
All these people coming into the country that thought they were going to Jew York with the fucking golden streets are actually in New Jersey.
At the Ellis Island.
Well, how do you know they didn't switch them? That's what I'm saying.
Switch who?
Maybe New York is actually New Jersey, is what I'm saying.
I guess it doesn't matter to me.
How do we know?
Well, it's just you just switch the concepts. I can change my name to Retardica, and then
Oh,
you're listening to Retardica.
so there's no real thing as a state.
It's a
There's no such
concept.
there's no such thing as a state.
It's an
It's just
agreed upon concept, yeah?
an
As long
agreed
as yeah,
of invisible line.
as long as enough people agree on the concept, and that's what you know. The map is
Right.
not the territory.
And
There's
enough
that
people,
distinction.
you get enough people to believe in this
Yeah.
invisible line, and it becomes real.
So you're building your case here for the people.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You beat me up along the way, make me feel like a retard. What is this?
That's how I felt there when I interviewed that fucking Yeti. I was like, what? What retarded beer?
I don't know if the Yeti is going to be its own separate special entity. I think we might have to we might have to leave that Yeti interview. Well, you'll hear it. You'll see.
Yeah,
It's
whatever.
it's confusing me to this very moment.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, so concepts enough agreed upon in ideas agreed upon create the reality, yeah? And not the
yeah.
reality, but they dictate the actions of people, which in turn creates it's not reality.
The world
Yeah, the whore world.
being whirled
World.
around. We're just being whirled around with fucking ideas.
Yeah.
Um, fuck. Yeah, the video I was telling you about that failed to upload a few times. That's kind of. I was reading. I've been reading a lot of Nietzsche lately.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Fuck. What was it? What was it? Yeah, like we're just like in a world of idea,
Yeah.
and those ideas are mostly in error.
Yeah. Well,
So
a great. Are you reading? It sounds like you're reading Nietzsche's Antichrist. Did you ever read the Antichrist?
I
By
do. I have Antichrist, but I was actually reading Human All Too Human just recently.
Well, he, I guess, swam around in the same waters most of the time.
Yeah,
You know.
philosophy. He just
Yeah.
he rewrites the same sentence 1,000 different ways, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I
You
mean,
know, a
I
lot of
guess
those
when
like
once you've honed something down and focused on it, focused your attention on something, where attention goes, energy flows, right? You just kind of have to start repeating yourself with new words, or else you just, get dismissed as,
yeah.
an old codger who just repeats the same story over and over again.
Yeah,
Or,
well, it's different ways to get through to people. Like some ways, like would be worded all fucking like jumbled up, and like you'd be like tripping over your fucking words, and
yeah,
then another one will be nice and easily understandable. Where in essence they're saying the same thing, but
we've yet to have in 15 broadcasts one nice, understandable one.
yeah, like here I have this. I wrote down 2 quotes after I read Human All Too Human.
Okay.
And I mean, they're just adaptations of like, of things that I read in the book. But the first one I wrote down, you know, I don't know, like if this is a quote from me or just maybe this line is even. I mean, I
This
wrote
could
it
be
down.
this could be
I wasn't like,
Mumbles,
I
Nietzsche, or
wasn't,
Arnold Schwarzenegger. We don't
you
know
know what
where
I'm
this
saying?
quote
Like,
comes from.
I wasn't looking at the book when I wrote it down, but I read the book and I walked away and I wrote these things down.
Well, the takeaway is what's important. That's
This
beautiful.
this is my takeaway.
Yeah.
Um, Gratitude is the desire of the ego to gain favor through attitude. And vengefulness is a direct quality of gratitude. That one I gotta work on the second one.
I gotta chisel away at that one a little bit. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm not
isn't
really
that funny?
trying to say well, what I'm trying to say, like what Nietzsche was saying is like there's a reciprocal relationship between like the amount of gratitude one shows and how vengeful that same person would be. Like it's a direct, uh, you know, 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, like
I think, again, double funnel, right?
yeah, like how much gratitude you'll show to somebody is how fucking is like the same amount of vengefulness you'll show.
Oh, absolutely. I wish I could.
Yeah.
There's a guy who does. Fuck it. His name's Vernon Howard. He does lectures, and he never lets his audience off the hook. Like you say, for example, oh, I love my wife so much. He says exactly the same thing. As much as you say that you love your wife, you hate her just as much. And it's a confusing concept.
Yeah, it's
And
real.
because it's broken down into such a small moment. But when you unpack these ideas, you're realizing it's just like everything in moderation. You know, be like water,
Yeah.
my friend. It really is. Water doesn't have an opinion.
No.
It 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 doesn't even do anything. It just behaves in accord with the
Surroundings.
situation at hand. It's the ultimate model of the double funnel. And while you can measure it and describe it, you really can't. You really get to a point where you hit the edge of the reality barrier. Like, what is wet? How do you describe wet?
Yeah.
You so that's that's where Mother Nature does become the captor, and man has taken the definitions and the conceptualizations to the extreme.
Yeah.
And but what else can we be expected to do with where we are at this given point in our own double funnel?
Just make yourself right with God.
Well, right. So there you go. There's the oversimplification of it.
Find Christ.
But
You know,
if you take that to heart, someone who's done this, that, and the other thing, that can embody something else, right?
Find the Lord.
Well, don't find the Lord. He'll cut off your penis.
No, it was just like I don't know what channel it was, but some fucking same stupid bullshit. Like how they get these fucking
Enters the stars.
Yeah, maybe it was that one.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes this stuff is cool, but other times I'm like, the people on here fucking buying into this fucking shit. But there was one comment like, everything in this world is, fucked up or, twisted and perverted, everything. And then it's like, and it goes on to be like, make yourself right with Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, didn't you find Christ in this world, you stupid fuck?
Well, yeah, I mean, even that presentation is hilarious because it's just like, what did you say last episode? You were, oh yeah, you were doing the Dave Chappelle, and you you're like breathing all the white man's air, white power, hitting
Yeah,
everything with find Christ, find
yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Well, it's because those characters that have been around on YouTube for long enough are obviously disingenuous and have to present like they
Well,
out
no,
themselves
it wasn't.
by doing that.
It was a comment. It wasn't. It wasn't the. It
Oh, it
wasn't
wasn't
the
the guy.
creator. Yeah, no, it was somebody commenting like
It
on the
wasn't the
video.
creator.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the content creator. It was just one of the followers that were like, like,
Find Christ. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, Jesus will
Yeah.
save you.
But again, it's going back to this thing that I always it has a double funnel principle to it, which is this area where the language butts up against the concept, butting up against what we're really trying to describe. You kind of can't describe. What I like about Mumbles is not a pussy. He inhale all the way.
Why do these things always happen to me, man?
Screwface. How does Screwface become Arnold Schwarzenegger? It's because we're professionals. You're listening to the sweet, soothing sounds of Mumbles' good lung. He has no bad lung. Ask him about it. He'll tell you the difference.
Go! Get out of here! I'm trying to listen to Mumbles.
You make me poop my pants. Genius. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, fair listeners of the whatever this thing is called, please.
Oh
Please.
shit! I had another direction I wanted to go, or I had something I wanted to talk about.
Well, we had a double funnel. What we're surprisingly focused today.
Are we?
Well, everything's relative, like a mohawk's head.
Yeah.
But it seems that I don't know what the weather's like up yonder, but it's a bit dreary with a medium rain. Yes. I think that's how the weathermen say it. You can look forward to a medium rain today.
Yeah. It's about the same over here, dreary and
purpley blue.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood's gone quiet because your typical city-dwelling human is now terrified of rain, which I don't know if you've noticed that, Mumbles, but people are terrified of weather now.
Some people get wet and other people feel the rain, boy.
Boy. Yeah.
I think Bob Marley said that.
Well, somebody from the island certainly did.
Some people get wet, other people feel the rain.
Boy!
Which one do you want to be?
Well, there you go. Just like that.
We're already wet, so you might as well just embrace the rain.
This comes straight from the samurai book, The Hagakure, which is when it rains, don't shrug your shoulders; you'll get just as wet. Yeah,
that's a good one. I never heard that before.
Yeah, it's like don't cinch up your body. Is this me again? My fucking mic is. Oh boy,
pretty crappy today.
Well, this is the actual hardware. Oh, I see what it is. I got a loose wire. God, these celebrity endorsements are going to have to turn into profits real soon, or I'm just going to be off the air.
Yeah, well, I had to empty the savings account to pay for that Screwface interview that I did.
Was that a Screwface interview?
Well, yeah, I'm still dealing with the legal department there to get all the rights to do what I want with it.
Oh boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
hopefully that'll come up in a few, maybe next week.
Wow, man. I guess, yeah, we're going to have to leak them out slowly. You don't want to hit everybody all at once.
No.
Too much star power.
Yeah. It's,
Sink our own boat.
yeah, they'll definitely take us for some sort of shill with all these Hollywood connections.
Well, find Christ. Which is great advice if you know what that means. But if you don't know what that means, that's a long meander through Nowheresville. Find balance. How about that? I guess that's not as catchy. Find Christ. Find balance. Be water. Mumbles, it's been great talking to you. It seems like Vivi has taken you offline. And I'm not so sure that anyone is listening to me. But if so, you are tuned in. You are clicked in to the Breaking Wind Dialogue Show podcast hour, sponsored in part by Darnold Schwarzeneggar and Rob Barley from the islands. We're also sponsored by Philip Cosby, also known as the Cosb. Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah. I was just stricken by the Lord.
Oh, I had figured. It's like clockwork, man. Around 5 o'clock, my shit goes haywire. It starts to rain, and then you're attacked by a German Shepherd about an hour later.
Yeah, well, today is a little bit different. I just lost my connection somehow. I guess I got too far from the router. I had to run outside.
Yeah, well, like we said, folks, we got to start filling up this PayPal account with lots of money so we can keep this show on the road, because we're suffering.
You're still soliciting?
Yeah, I was going down the list of the sponsors that we had.
Yeah.
Darnold Schwarzenegger and Phil Cosby. And who else do we have? Rob Barley, I think it was.
Rosanna Bart.
Rosanna Bart.
Yeah.
She's a big fan.
Yeah.
Getting bigger every day.
Ah!
Oh no! Oh yes! I can't wait! I can't wait to get her phone call, so she can give us our just rewards. Oh man, these celebrity endorsements.
That crazy old racist bitch.
Whatever she is, I mean, she's definitely useful to somebody.
Yeah.
Going out, always, if you need shit stirred, she's ready with the big long spoon.
Well, yeah, she used to be a lot better when she had another famous Arnold that was in some movies with the other Arnold.
Yeah, that's right.
When she had the Tom handler.
It's hard to tell who's handling who, but yeah.
Tommy Boy Arnold as a handler. She was pretty funny in her day.
Yeah, I'm just going back to the idea of the words not being the concepts, and New Jersey just being a line drawn in your head between two shapes. I really don't put too much into anything that I see on a screen anymore, because no matter how I interpret it, it seems to be against my best interest.
Yeah, well, but you have to, like I don't get mind fucked when I watch it, because I immediately assume that it's false, and that I'm watching it with that in mind, and I'm just looking to sniff out the bullshit, So
no, I hear you. But you can't have.
And then a lot of the time I get comedic. Some of the stuff's funny.
No, I hear you.
For a laugh.
I hear you. I hear you. It's I just so enjoy a genuine conversation.
Yeah.
You come across them every once in a while. There's, I don't even want to recommend everything, but I do stumble across people who get the joke. They're, notable faces and names, and they'll, it's not like all these fucking people are chopping up babies and shoving things up their ass. And
no, they're doing that shit. They're just doing that, because they have to put that out there.
Yeah, exactly.
People can't seem to grasp the concept that good has to have contrast in order to be good.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly, but there seems to be such a far swing into the other direction.
Well, but they're just words. They're just telling you that they're doing these things. You really think Pizzagate's real?
No, but it's like pushing this shit out there. It's like, how much horse shit do you need to grow a flower? Yeah. I'd rather just fucking have a flower farm with a little bit of horse shit, as opposed to just a. Oh, here's something I wanted to bring up, but it's going to get lost in the the annals of Retardica. Was they're really pushing this cow fart thing now. I really don't pay attention to the media. I haven't heard anything about cow farts in a long time. The climate, they're going to fucking out the climate change thing on cow farts, and it's tied into meat production and the popularization of a vegan diet, which is demonized as well. Like, it's coming to a head, is what I'm saying. And at the spear tip will be a cow fart. It's been Bill Gates, and all this advertising that I try not to see just pops up every once in a while. Eco-friendly products, climate change, transportation, they're all pointing in the direction of mass, what do they call it? Mass industrialized farming, and blaming cows. They're going through this whole rigmarole, and they're going to close the show. They're going to close the show with cow farts, which was a 1980s joke. But now they're really going to do it. They're really doing it.
There's a lot of fucking this. What do they call it? The gases that they fucking put out.
They're blaming all of the climate change on that. And
well, I think that's a lot more of an impact than like the people farting.
Well, I mean, I guess it's debatable. It depends how much you hate people.
I mean,
if you need to scapegoat people, then you just tell them that they're farting too much.
So, like, as a vegan, I would think that you would like support that type of claim. Like I always thought that it was kind of genuine because of the laws that are set up to protect these agricultural fucking companies, you know? Like
Well,
you can't film inside there, you can't talk about your fucking job, you can't
yeah.
you can't do any of that shit. Like the ad
Well,
guy. But,
where at the farms?
well,
The
not all
slaughter
farms.
farms?
Not all farms, but
No, but I mean
in
the
some
industrialized.
yeah, in some Midwestern states, they have ag gag laws that keep people from going in there and filming and fucking talking, the employees from talking,
Yeah.
and like divulging the operations. So,
Probably because
uh,
they're chopping up people.
yeah, it could be that, but I mean, I think that the amount of gases that come out of the fucking cows it's got to add up. I mean, when you got a million fucking cows in a fucking confined space,
Sure.
you know, that's a lot of heat coming off of that shit.
Yeah, but relatively speaking, I don't think it's the heat. It's the humidity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how they shouldn't blame the cows. They should blame the douchebag corporations that fucking
Well, I
made
mean,
a million cows, you know?
obviously, that's not how these things go. They always cartoonify these things for the general population, and it's just, there's just a strange thing happening in the city now too, where there's this. We were talking about cartoon food for vegetarians, where you have these texturized soy-based proteins to mimic meat. There's a big push to get people to stop eating meat, but not to eat more vegetables, but to eat more of these soy-based texturized proteins, and they're just loaded with artificial shit.
Where is this push, though?
This is in the city. It's just something I noticed. It like I have a limited selection of organic stores that I can shop at, and there's this. It's always like these hyped up, nervous, neo Bolshevik Jew ladies that are really pushing for these products. And there's a burger chain. They pride themselves on serving only organic meat and using organic this and locally grown produce to a degree.
Bear burger, man.
Yeah, and they started pushing this. They started pushing two kinds of artificial meat. One is called Impossible Meat, which is really bad branding, and the other one is called Beyond Burger. And when I asked,
I've heard of the Beyond Burger.
well, next time you see it in your grocer's freezer, you can look it up. I don't even think they have it. If you ask what's in it, they won't tell you.
Yeah,
because they don't know. And then I saw it in one of these organic stores. I was like, wow, this Beyond thing is really turning into a big marketing. There's a huge push. So everywhere I go, it's like Beyond. And then I hear people talking about it. It's like, this is so fucking weird because I'm not watching anything. I don't have any emotional connection to my dietary changes. I'm not vegan, vegetarian.
You're what? What are you? You're not a vegan or a vegetarian? Hello? But yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely against the.
Well, hello? I'm a faggot. I'm a big old.
I'm not entirely against these fake meat substitutes, but.
Hello?
Hey, yeah, I was just saying I'm not against these fake meat substitutes, if they're comprised of good whole foods. Like
Sure.
like you could buy like black bean burgers or like chickpea fucking things.
Yeah.
Like I buy the fake chicken sandwich. It's made out of like chickpeas.
Yeah, but I
So
mean,
it's supposed to emulate the chicken sandwich and that texture, but like the only thing I don't like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm trying to like trick myself into like thinking that I'm eating flesh, like so like that's the only thing that I would steer away from, that and like the soy. But
yeah. And so if maybe it's just my personal take that if you're transitioning to less meat diet or vegetarian diet, vegan diet, raw diet, watermelon diet, air diet,
yeah,
urine diet, the point is sort of an improvement in your health, or I don't know, a self-respect, or just a new awareness, and you're taking action based on a new awareness. So if you have this new awareness and you're steering clear of meat, let's say you're steering clear not for emotional issues, or you're disgusted by eating sentient beings or something like that. You just
yeah,
simply understand meat is difficult for the body to digest, and
yeah,
the breakdown of these proteins is hard on your liver and other functions.
yeah.
And if you're doing that, then it doesn't. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't care. It's just as a cultural trend, these things will get pushed out. It's like, why? It's frustrating to watch people who do move away from like eating too much meat, because it puts them in a bad physical and mental state of mind, to transition to something that's loaded, that's advertised heavily as healthier than meat and good for the environment, while it's loaded with tons of uh,
Uh,
artificial preservatives and uh, flavorings and colorings and things like that, and emulsifiers. And like I said, I don't care, but
put this back in the oven, okay?
uh-huh.
oh, you need me to let you go?
No, you can keep going. I just distracted.
Well, so the thing is changing the diet. Motivation for me has always been, I learned something new. I became aware that I was doing something to myself, unbeknownst to myself. And like, I didn't know how bad soda was for me until I kind of felt it. And I never drank soda again. And I just started drinking water all the time. Then I changed my water, and then I started drinking distilled water. Then I started drinking distilled water. Now I ionize the water. You know how you can ionize water? Cheap
Cheaply?
is boil it for 15 minutes and then keep it hot, and it's ionized. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, but you got to drink it hot then.
Well, you gotta drink it hot, but you don't have to completely drink ionized water. You can keep it in a thermos. I mean, it's not the most convenient thing in the world, but it's one way to do it, and it doesn't cost anything extra. So that's what I always kind of got off on. But I'm just seeing this trend. You know how these cities are. They're just basically, you know, prison camps. They go through these. I don't know how to say it, like neo-communist inspired cultural revolutions through the music and through the opinions and the advertising. And
Yeah.
it's just like everyone's a fag now, which is fine, but they're just like these aggressive communist fags. They don't realize, they can't make a distinction between, like, I want to have a loving partner who understands me and I'm attracted to this sort of thing, or I want to kill everyone who makes babies, and I wanted to tell everyone what I have in my asshole and my penis. And I don't get to do that, nor do I want to do that. But all the fags that I do know are wonderful people and are disgusted by like the advertised underdeveloped personalities that are associating themselves as being gay, when it's just they're just emotionally underdeveloped and they latched onto this identity. So it's the same thing with the fucking food, where people are moving away from meat, and then it becomes this fucking crusade where
Yeah.
you have to browbeat other people with it. So where I don't want to talk about food or anything, but if it just seems natural, you want to steer clear of like these artificial ingredients. Nobody talks about, you can be a milk dud vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
We were talking, but
Yeah.
that's not really better for you. So kind of what's the point? And then
Yeah.
you these people are given identities and they don't put up any resistance to the identities. They just take the identity and all of the bad associations that go with it and the bad habits that go with it.
Right.
And so it's kind of frustrating when I
Yeah.
do fall. I don't seek this stuff out, but it just assholes to elbows with lots of, you know, hyper emotional people, including myself. And I see this transition to some sort of meatless food culture, but it's not. I don't understand. Like moving away from, what about the artificialist diet? Like if it's in a box, don't eat it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. That's kind of like a raw type of diet. Yeah.
Not necessarily raw. I mean, you still cook it and everything, but
But,
and what's the deal with the having to be so strict where you have to be categorized into New Jersey or New York and then have a big debate over where the Statue of Liberty is and waste all your energy there when it's just like, less ingredients are better, and fresh vegetables they taste delicious if you know how to prepare them. You don't have to do everything all at once. And these extremes is what,
yeah.
fucks people's heads up and then winds up forcing people who don't really have an opinion into having an opinion that usually goes against the best part of whatever it is. Because
Right.
vegans are fucking annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the vegans that I know don't talk about it. And they're just like,
Yeah, like I never bring at all. I never fucking bring up food at all. It's just
no.
always something that other people like spring on me, like, oh, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat?
That's what I'm talking about. They're ready to fucking punch you in the face, waiting for your answer, and it's like,
Yeah, and it's like I don't care, man. I don't fucking need nothing, like I
period.
don't, like, oh, you want a sausage? Like, I don't eat meat, bro. It's like, oh, what do you eat? Like, just other things. Like,
I
not
I
meat.
I eat infants,
Yeah.
feces, tin cans. I don't know how to define that.
Yeah, well, goat. It's a goat.
Yeah, goat. Basically, that's it. I'm a goat. Just, well,
Yeah. So,
well. As soon as I said this has been, we've been incredibly focused this episode, I think I steered the train off the tracks. Forgive me.
yeah, I think you jinxed us.
Yeah, not only did I jinx us, I provided a shitty connection, terrible artificial weather conditions to interrupt my Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah. So, like, getting back to these cows, I think we were talking about the cows, and then
yeah, and then I broke out. All right.
Aren't the cows are supposed to be like sacred in India, right?
Okay.
So, like, do you think that we're just like our Western culture is just trying to fucking squash out the East, and like this is the East pushing back with the blaming the fucking farts, blaming the cow.
I don't really understand how that works. I can't even tell what's real anymore.
Yeah,
is that a real question?
Well, like, do they participate in India, like in the centralized banking? I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Oh, well, that was where I was trying to go. See, that's why every Retardica needs a Mumbles. Because I don't really care about the shit that's going on the ground on an individual level or these small groups of people. It's the general trend of like, what is the connection to sort of this push for a veganism that's not really concerned for health, but it's concerned with replacing meat slowly and deliberately with soy-based artificial products with the texture and the economy and the climate change and the weather adjustment stuff. Like, how does it all come together? That there's no answer, I guess, but
it's profit. It's all profit.
Well, it's profit.
I mean, they found a way to make they basically found a substitute, and you don't have to fucking keep it alive.
Okay, now we're talking. Yeah, see, now we're talking.
And you can rack it and stack it.
You can rack it, stack it, and then pack it
in boxes. You put it in a fucking box. You can't. I mean, pulver. But like, if you're just dealing with like some sort of fucking soy fucking shit that you grow in a petri, you could grow it into the box.
Even better.
You could grow the fucking box too.
Have you seen the boxes that they grow out of mycelium?
No, I haven't seen those. No.
Well, you can use your favorite video channel network.
Yeah.
Search for that mycelium boxes, fungus boxes.
I was just what do you call that? Lying out loud.
Whining out loud?
No, lying. Just like
lying out loud.
Up. Yeah, I was just making shit up.
No,
I didn't know they could call a box.
I can't. Yeah, there's nothing that can't be done now, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it makes sense.
Eat the box. Yeah, just eat the box. That's what Soylent Green's all about anyway. Just eat the fucking. Really? This is shit, man. Anyway, they found profit. So then the profit to generate the profit, you steer the narrative. And this is kind of going back to the wars and stuff too.
You could charge whatever you fucking want, where they're like right now they're just gauging the markets and finding the price points to make it readily acceptable for everybody to want to eat the same shit.
Right, and then, right. That's exactly it.
After a while, they're gonna fucking probably pull the real meat from the shelf and pull a switcheroo and not tell you about it.
Either that or tell you, it's got some sort of, it's diseased. It's diseased en masse, like they did with the mad cow disease.
Yeah.
Or the Oprah thing. Oprah was against beef farmers or some shit like that,
Oh, yeah.
All I got to do is say it's poisoned. It's like baby Tylenol back in the 80s. For some reason, they needed to get that off the shelves, or for whatever reason, it was profit generated. It wasn't like consumer health that they were concerned about. So you just got to scare people into stop buying shit.
Yeah.
And that's how you
scare the Americans into not buying the German goods.
Yeah. Well, that's how you, man. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? You just got to pull the big levers with fear, and then you fine tune it with culture, and then that steers the behavior through the narrative, and that's probably the most concise way I've ever.
Yeah, that's very well put there.
I'm gonna have to listen to this episode.
I'm gonna have to let Craig write that down.
Craig, don't forget. I can't read your handwriting, Craig.
Yeah.
You a fag.
You wanna give this episode wrap?
Cut it loose. Did you just leave? Did you just preemptively leave the studio, Mumbles?
Huh?
Did you? Oh, I thought you just signed off and like that was it.
No, I was asking if you wanted to
call it quits.
What up, and we'll just give the teaser for next episode, I guess.
Well, let's what are we gonna do? Do you have a teaser? We never really got into the war thing because I really do enjoy talking about the distinction between moving populations and destroying old architecture and infrastructure and rebuilding new infrastructure, moving it.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that.
And
I
then,
know I put a little bit of a teaser out there about the fake wars, but mostly I wanted it to be like, hey, here comes this fake war episode, and then that episode like doesn't happen, like just like the wars.
oh, see, it's so meta that even your good friend Retardica just can't keep up, just lagging behind. I'm like, I just want to do the Bill Cosby voice as best as I can.
Yeah.
Where's our episode about the wars? Well, then good, mission accomplished, as they say in fake wars.
Yeah.
We didn't really address it.
Yeah, we came in and we built a couple bridges.
And now we got to blow them up. So that all the people we tricked into living in breaking Windland cannot escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we had a little bit of a teaser about that Pizzagate. I wanted to talk about pizza.
Yeah, that was a teaser. I got horny.
Yeah, well, the Z's look like threes when they're written in script.
Oh, see, then there we go again, right? What are they doing to us, man? I've not really watched a lot, even less than usual, and I tapped into a gematria thing probably through your like list or something, and I was just like, oh, good golly, Miss Molly.
Which one?
I can't remember because like
Zach?
some of those guys. No, I don't have what it takes to get through that, and well, just like watching television, I feel like you said, you can watch television with your awareness on and pick things apart and see it, and it becomes humorous. And I can do that to a very limited degree. But I think with some of these characters that I invested so much of my attention to, I feel slighted. I feel duped, and so it's hard for me to go back and watch that sort of stuff. And then I realized how long does it take to really predict nothing? And it's like, isn't this talking about meat? Isn't this how cattle get slaughtered? So I feel like even though it's so tempting, the Gematrinator, when he made that push, he made a big money push a couple years ago, and then the Gematrinator came out, and then of course he was cyber attacked and all this other sort of shit that happened. I was like, this narrative is retarded. That Gematrinator was really handy, but then it made it even easier to jump around from numbers to numbers to numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just going to create the Kevin Baconator because it's only 2 degrees of separation from, this guy to that guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, and then on top of that, a lot of, not a lot, but I was going to start to do something on it, like writing them all down, any discrepancies that I found. But, some of them just don't equate. Like some of the values are wrong. Come here, Vivi.
It seems so.
Septenary cipher, especially, I think, has the most flaws.
But you can make a cipher for anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that's my point. Is like you can kind of just, fucking see whatever you want to see. But I use them. I use it for like, storytelling purposes, or for like amuse. Like.
Yeah, that's what I can tell. That's why I always enjoyed the way you did it, especially like before we started talking. You had the chalkboard, and you do some real interesting stuff. For example, I don't know if you did this or I did this. Now it's really confused who I am and who you are. You take a toroid and you segment it like say like a mandarin orange or a clementine. You know how they're segmented like that, the little hole in the middle. You have the number 6 and you have the number 9, and then you have the letter B, you have the letter D, and you have the letter P, and you have the letter Q, and they all have sort of similar shape. And I was deriving some real funky drawings from just that. And I wouldn't say that I created a cipher, but I was kind of having a conversation with myself, and my brain had a channel to go off in a new direction that wasn't there before, and it was really peculiar. So you can really get in there and customize your own sort of thought process, but it requires having it on paper, or I guess for certain people, using a computer or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
but that's what you always seem to do, is just play.
Hello.
Hello?
I did not. I'll go open the garage.
Mumbles, you do open the garage, please?
Hello?
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 Will you mind opening the garage, please?
All right, I think I gotta go.
All right, that's it?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. You gotta go?
I don't know why I can't hear you now.
Hey you.
Yeah, I can hear you in like the headset now.
You can hear me in the headset?
Yeah, I hear you in my headset. Usually you're on speaker.
Well,
all right, let me run. I got some shit to take care of.
Take care of that shit. Open the garage. Quit fucking around. Get some sleep. Drink your water. Don't eat dirty meat.
Yeah.
And don't forget, most importantly, hey.